Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Manifesting Muslimah. I'm your host, Zara Pedersen. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about healing your relationship with Allah, working on it, making sure that you're not taking it for granted, doing everything that you can to improve it, make it stronger, make it the best relationship that it can possibly be, the best of any of the relationships you have in this dunya, be it with your parents, your partner, your children, whatever it might be, that the relationship with Allah is even better and stronger than all of those combined, right? This is an important subject for all of us for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is the one relationship in our lives, and we know this, that matters. This is the only one that truly, really matters to us, because this is the one that's going to define our akhirah. It's going to define not just our akhirah, but our barzakh also, our judgment day also. We have several lives. We keep getting so stuck in this dunya that we're not planning ahead thoroughly. We're not actually taking the time to understand and recognize that there's more to that, where we are not amongst the rest of the people that we have with us right now, and the one that will be with us is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he can make the circumstances for us in these other dunyas, or other lives, I say dunyas, but other lives, beautiful or horrible for us. And so of course we need to make sure that we have the best relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can safeguard ourselves from his wrath, his displeasement, his anything in any of the other lives. Okay, but not just that, we also want to work on our relationship with Allah. I mean, obviously that's I feel like that reason is should be enough, right? And it is, in many ways it is, but it's also because of the fact that we actually use the relationship that we have with Allah in this dunya to improve for the sake of our akhirah. And the stronger and the healthier our relationship is with Allah in this dunya, the easier it becomes for us also to live up to certain expectations that Allah might have of us, expectations that we might even have of ourselves, and what it means to be a Muslim. And so it just is one of those things where it's like it just feeds into absolutely everything else in your life. So you might as well take the time to work on it. One of the reasons that I think most people don't want to work on it, or like are hesitating to work on it, and this is, by the way, from personal experience, not for me per se, but from my clients, a lot of the people that I work with who say things to me, and you might recognize some of these things, like, oh, I'll do it when I get a little bit better at praying, or maybe I'm not ready yet. I feel like there's still things I need to catch up with. I don't know enough to do all of these things. Like, there's some type of expectation that dictates for a lot of people that in order to have a healthy relationship with Allah, you also have to show up at a specific level or in a specific way Islamically. And as a Muslim, sometimes that can be difficult, because Islam is a journey. Being Muslim is a journey. We constantly progress, and then maybe sometimes even regress and progress a little bit more. Then we elevate and we go sideways. We do all of these things. There's a journey, and it's not a linear one. And so many times we can feel like if we take the step to work on our relationship with Allah, that now automatically also means that we have to elevate our Muslimhood. What's the word? It's not Muslimhood. Like our level of iman, almost like the but in a very practical way in terms of how we show up in this dunya. So if you're, for instance, struggling currently to meet your 5 prayers every day, or maybe you're meeting them but not on time, or maybe you're struggling with fasting, or maybe you're struggling with the hijab or something, like there are so many things that you can be kind of like going through and thinking, oh well, I'm not doing this perfectly yet, and if I have a relationship with Allah and I'm improving the relationship with Allah, then maybe he's now expecting me to show up in that way, and I don't feel like I'm quite ready for that yet, or I don't know if I can handle that kind of responsibility, or if I can take on more. And I think that's the one thing that stops us the most, is really that we think we can't take on more. Like, the elevation means, what if I can't follow suit? What if I can't keep up the demand? So that is, I understand the concern. I truly do, because I don't think there are many people in the world currently who feel like, add more to my plate. just give me more to do. I don't have enough to do. I'm not stressed enough. I don't have enough that I feel like I'm still trying to keep up with and whatever. Like, I think most of us can say that if anything, it would help us to have a little bit less to do. It would help us if we didn't have as many responsibilities and so on and so forth. So this thought of, if I improve my relationship, I then have to step up and do more, can really make us think, oh, I'm not ready yet. I don't know if I'm ready to do that because I'm already struggling just to meet the basics that I'm currently doing, right? Or I'm okay with the balance that I've got now, and I'm afraid if I step it up a little, or if I move closer to Allah, that I can't keep up with the new demands or whatever. And so all of this, that was a very long, I don't know, it's not even an introduction, it is on the topic, but all of that to say that that is not what it means. That is not what it means to heal your relationship with Allah. That is not what it means to move closer to Allah. Moving closer to Allah, healing your relationship with Allah, building a strong relationship with Allah, prioritizing your relationship with Allah does not mean that now you have to be quote unquote perfect, that you now have to be a perfect Muslim. It doesn't mean that you have to show up perfectly. It doesn't mean that you now don't have the desires to maybe do stupid stuff. I don't know how else to say, but like doing things that may not always be in line or might be a little bit questionable and stuff. Like, we all have, we're still human, right? So sometimes we're like, oh, it's hard for me to avoid doing this, or it's hard for me to stop gossiping, or again, like if you're like me, I find it difficult still to commit to the hijab, right? And so a concern could be like, oh, but if I improve my relationship with Allah and I don't wear the hijab, then like, what's the point? And the point is not that you show up perfectly when you heal your relationship with Allah. The point is that you're working on building a relationship with Allah that will last you and that will continuously inspire and motivate you to do better as time goes on. And the more you invest in the relationship with Allah, the more Allah invests back in you. And it's not just a question of, oh, I want Allah to invest back in me, but it's a question, I mean, we've spoken about that, like with akhirah and the reward that we might get as we are closer with him, of course, inshallah, but also in terms of how he may open doors for you for you within Islam, that you may feel more drawn to pray, that you may feel more drawn to connect with Allah in prayer through hijab, through fasting, through reading your Quran, things like of that nature. But it could also just be that it gives you an internal peace, that it gives you a calmness that nothing in this dunya gives you. It's a certainty. And if Allah is the only certain thing in your life, you're pretty good. You're doing pretty dang good in life, okay? But most people don't see it like that, because there is a lot of people out there, a lot of content out there that is pushing you to do more and more and more and more. And so this idea that, oh, if I improve my relationship with Allah, then we can start thinking of it as like, oh, that must then mean I have to also do more, show up more, elevate more in what I'm currently doing. And if you're already, like most of us, probably a little bit burnt out, a little bit too stressed, a little bit, there's just a little bit too much going on, then that's not going to sound like a good deal, is it? It's not going to sound like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do, add more to my plate, and I'm already struggling just to, I don't know, go to work and spend time with my friends and have a social life and whatever, like, or spend time with friends and social life is the same thing, but whatever, fill in the blanks, right? You know what I'm talking about. So it's very important that we understand what it actually means to heal your relationship with Allah. It's very important for us to understand what a strong relationship with Allah actually looks like. And I think the best way for me to explain it is that it has nothing to do with being perfect as a Muslim, but it has everything to do with setting an intention within your religiosity. And once you invest in Allah, who is at the very core of Islam, there is no Islam without Allah. Allah is the foundation of it, right? We can talk about praying and all of that stuff, but if you don't have Allah, then even prayer is kind of redundant, right? And this is why it's so important that we understand why we're doing these things, and that the motivation, our intention, is correct from the get-go. And once we start healing our relationship with Allah and we start coming to prayer, for instance, prayer, for the sake of Allah and not just for the sake of avoiding punishment in akhirah. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad reason to come to prayer, but it's not necessarily the most motivating, I would argue, reason to come to prayer, because it's sort of like it's so full of fear and doom. And I, for one, prefer coming to prayer out of love and excitement and appreciation and gratitude, than because I constantly feel like I'm going to burn in hell. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me. I'm definitely a praise, positive praise kind of motivated, like driven. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm driven by positive and affirmative motivation, not like the stuff like, if you don't, then this, and doom and fear and calamity and stuff. Um, and so, if that's also you, then maybe, maybe take a page out of my book right now, okay? And invest in your relationship with Allah. I think one thing also about having a healthy relationship with Allah is that it really bleeds into absolutely everything else. Once we have a strong, healthy relationship with Allah, it affirms so much in our lives in ways that nothing in this dunya can affirm for us, in a way that nothing else in this dunya can give that sense of security and calmness and peace and just clarity in many ways. And not clarity because we can see everything like from on a piece of paper, but because we are certain in Allah. So we have the sense of certainty because we have Allah. And it allows us to move and make moves in this dunya in a way that we can't when we're looking for dunya to back us up. Even people within the dunya, even the best other Muslims that we know in this dunya, the sheikhs and the imams and the what do they call it, ulama, like it, who cares? Even if they back you up in this dunya, it doesn't actually mean anything because they're all still human. But if you have and you feel so secure in your relationship with Allah, then nothing can stop you. And it becomes easier to move around with certainty and take certain risks and make moves that you otherwise would have hesitated on, and back yourself. Stand firmer in yourself, being able to move aside doubt and hesitation with more certainty. And those things don't come from anything in this dunya. It comes when you know you have the creator of universes behind you, right? And when I say behind me, I'm not meaning that in any derogatory way. Astaghfirullah, you know exactly what I mean, as in like you have Allah with you all the time. And of course, Allah is not behind us, He is with us. Okay. Just clarifying here. um, and that's what it means to have a healed relationship with Allah, is that absolutely everything in your life starts coming together in beautiful harmony, even when things don't go well. So this isn't like a magic cure. So if you heal your relationship with Allah, then now you're praying on time every day and you'll never struggle with your motivation, and you can recite the Quran beautifully, and you're just like, you never sin, you never have a bad thought. And also at the same time, Allah never tests you with hardship. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. It's about finding and building and creating a foundation within yourself that you can continue to build on with everything else. But without the foundation, and Allah being the foundation, anything else that you try to build on top is just going to fall apart. Eventually, it'll start cracking. It's going to start sinking into the dirt. It's going to be, if a big gust of wind comes, it might fall apart, and you find you might have to constantly repair and do up and invest in keeping up these facades of the home. Are you with me on this metaphor? I don't know. I'm fully in it in my mind, at least. And so it's so important to have a very strong foundation. And this is what I'm saying, if you don't have the foundation in Allah, but you come to prayer, you might be praying for all the wrong reasons. You might be praying because you think you have to, because your mum and dad taught you. Now you're not praying for Allah. Now you're praying because your mum and dad told you. Right? Maybe you're only praying if you've got company, if you're with other people. Maybe you're only praying, as I said, because you just don't want hell. And I don't blame you. None of us want hell. But again, the motivation to wake up in the middle of the night to avoid punishment, for me, and I speak for myself and a lot of my clients in this, in fact, every client that I've worked with, the positive affirmation is a much stronger motivation to get out of bed, to be like, wow, Allah has allowed me to wake up this morning. I'm so grateful for this. Now I want to repay. I want to give back, right? It's hard to give back when you feel like you're constantly clawing to try and stay upright. And if we're only being motivated out of fear, that is when we feel like I can't do more. I don't want to add more to my thing because I'm already doing the basic and I still feel terrified and I still have so much doubt within me as to whether or not I'm safe. And at this point, we're not playing. I'm not saying, by the way, that healing your relationship with Allah, now you're safe, you're promised Jannah. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we will all meet each other in Jannah and it will be beautiful. And please come and say hi to me if you see me there. And if you don't see me there, please, please ask Allah for my forgiveness, please. And I'm not joking. I know I'm laughing, but please do. Yeah, sorry. I just got like a ton of images in my mind. My ADHD is doing a lot right now. But yeah, so of course we all want to avoid hell, but it's not the drive, and we're not. I'm not saying that healing your relationship is saying now you are certain that you will get to heaven. It is rather, it becomes fun and exciting to chase heaven. It becomes interesting and motivating and exciting. It makes it enjoyable to do the things because now we're doing it from a place of love and appreciation and gratitude and all the other things instead of fear. That is what a healed relationship with Allah looks like. And a healed relationship with Allah also looks like feeling confident and safe in your growth as a Muslim, that you feel safe still learning. You don't feel necessarily, I mean, yeah, of course, from time to time you'll have like these little intrusive thoughts because shaitan will come and whisper in your ear, but there's a calmness around, oh, I didn't know that. I have to learn that. Or I don't know that surah. Maybe I need to recite that more. Or, oh, I'm still getting better at my prayers, or I can still extend my prayers. I can still learn to do better. But there's a sense of ease and calmness with it because we know that we're doing it to the best of our ability. And when we have a beautiful, strong, healthy relationship with Allah, we're no longer driven by shame and guilt or fear. We're driven by love and gratitude and this sense of when I have the time, when Allah provides me with the time and the inspiration, I will do what I can to give back. And Allah sees that within me, and so He knows my intention, and so I can give what is within me to give, what I am capable of giving. But Allah also knows where my limits are because He created me with limits. So when I have to do something else, or when I have to take a step back, or whatever it might be, I can do so without the guilt and shame and fear. That is what a healthy relationship with Allah looks like. So if you've been thinking and you've been hearing me talk about this for however many months at this point, of healing your relationship with Allah and building that and investing in that relationship with Allah, I don't want you to think that you have to be a perfect Muslim or show up perfectly as a Muslim before you can have that healthy relationship with Allah. I want you to understand that it is just the foundation. We're just building the foundation, right? And very much like makeup, like building houses, anything, like you want to start with the foundation, then you build on top. I've got my foundation on, then I've got a little bit of whatever this is called, bronzer and what is this, blush. I know the names, I'm just forgetting it. I'm not one of those like pygmies. I know makeup. I'm just forgetting names right now. Right, but we start with the foundation. When we have a good foundation, oh, it's so nice. I'm sitting right in front of like a balcony right now, and there's like this beautiful wind coming in. This summer is coming to Sicily. Please, 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 please don't let the Hunter virus be a thing. By the way, as I'm recording this, I don't know where we're going to be when this episode comes out, but they've just kind of like been talking about the Hunter virus and all that stuff. And yeah, let's inshallah no lockdown, right? Inshallah we can avoid that. Oh my gosh, either you're laughing at me because we're already in a lockdown by the time this episode comes out, or you're going to be like, no, we're safe, we're good, but it was scary for a minute. I hope for the latter. All right, Yes. So I hope that by listening to this episode and by understanding what it actually means to have a healthy relationship with Allah, you can now take the time to invest in that relationship with Allah without burdening yourself with more than what you can bear, because Allah doesn't want you to do that. There is a beautiful ayah in the Quran. I can't remember what surah it is just yet, but you will find it. It's such an easy one to find. A quick little Ocean Hero search, and you will find it yourself. And Allah does not. Allah intends ease for you. Allah intends ease for you. I am probably paraphrasing because I don't remember in that way, but you will, if you put that down in an Ocean Hero search, you will find it. It'll come up for you, and it's such a beautiful thing. And we have to remind ourselves of that as well. That Allah intends ease for us, and ease is not overburdening ourselves. So if you ever want to work on your relationship, but you're afraid that you won't be able to keep up with your own expectations of what that might look like, take something off your plate. Take something off your plate. Allah is perfectly happy with that as well. Okay. All right, my darling. That is what I had for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. I will see you, inshallah, next week for another episode. But until then, my darling friend, please don't forget to live in love.